Hey YouTubers, Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 2, Episode 18, Up the Long Ladder. Wow, God, this episode was a hot mess. And this episode gets a lot of hate, especially by Colm Meaney, the actor who plays Chief O'Brien, because it's pretty derogatory towards the Irish. Now, Star Trek in general has kind of played, I don't want to say a race card, but it's played an interesting thing where we go to specific planets and the whole planet is a particular culture. Like we've seen the Native American planet and we've seen an African planet, and now evidently there's an Irish planet. And like I said, Colm Meaney was not really a fan of this episode because of the whole way it was portrayed. And I mean, you could kind of see that when they first beam them onto the teleporter. Like even the actor's face is like, "Are you fucking serious right now? Like this is how you're gonna do it?" And yeah, it was pretty rough. So we start out with this, where just the very stereotypes and stuff like that. And from there, we learn that this crew, or this people on the planet, were a split crew, a voyage out here. Whereas the second half, that was more technologically advanced, has had, like, their ship crashed and only 5 people survived. So to keep their planet going, they've just been cloning people over and over and over again. And they're finally starting to break down. And it's kind of interesting because they mention that in 2123 they were going through some World War III aftermath, whereas when we get to the First Contact movie, like that movie takes place in 2063, and they just got over World War III as well. So I don't know how bad World War III is supposed to be, like, any year now, but 100 years from that, we're still recovering. So anyway, so the technologically advanced planet, they're cloning, and they ask the Enterprise for some DNA. Right away, Riker fucking shuts that down. He's like, nope. So they end up, like, knocking out Riker and Polanski and stealing their DNA. Which is interesting because Riker talks about how one is unique, but 100 or 1,000, like, that's not okay. I don't want to spoil it, I won't get too far into it, but Riker does get cloned later on in the series, so we will see a second Riker later on. So I feel like this was kind of a precursor. Like, this was them being like, you know what, maybe that would be pretty badass if we had another one. So who knows, maybe this was that first rough draft of an idea. But yeah, overall, I felt like the acting was okay in this episode, but overall, like, it was pretty rough. It was a harsh episode to kind of get through with the stereotypes and the just kind of overall bigotry of this episode. For those who have seen it, go ahead, let me know if you guys want what you thought of it, and what do you guys kind of feel about these cultural episodes. Like I said, the Native American, the African, now we have an Irish one. Go ahead, let me know what you guys think about them kind of grouping into planets like that, and I will see you guys next time for Manhunt.